The wait for Pittsburgh Steelers football is officially over. Mike Tomlin and company took the field Thursday at St. Vincent College in Latrobe, kicking off what fans hope will be a season of redemption and resurgence. The energy was electric, with black and gold faithful lining the fields to catch a glimpse of their new-look team. But one key figure was notably absent from the action: newly acquired tight end Jonnu Smith. Smith, a Pro Bowl-caliber talent coming off a career-best season with the Miami Dolphins, was present, just not participating. Initially in practice gear, Smith stood with the rest of the active players before quietly swapping his jersey for more casual apparel and stepping aside. While he remained engaged and was seen offering encouragement and coaching from the sidelines, his lack of involvement was hard to ignore. This isn't necessarily something to ring alarm bells over. Training camp is long, and player workloads are carefully managed, especially for veterans. But as someone who's been eagerly anticipating Smith's impact on this offense, it was a little disappointing not to see him running routes or catching passes. The Pittsburgh Steelers need Jonnu Smith on the field during training camp. With so much buzz surrounding his arrival, especially after a standout 2024 season that saw him rack up 88 receptions, 884 yards, and 8 touchdowns, the hope was to see him start building chemistry with Aaron Rodgers and the rest of the offense right away. Thursday's practice felt more like a football festival. Big names like Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Rodgers, and DK Metcalf all made their training camp debuts, drawing cheers from across the field. In a setting so full of excitement and expectation, Smith's absence from on-field drills was just a touch deflating. That said, there's no panic here. Mike Tomlin has long taken a measured approach with his players, especially early in camp. When asked about injuries, he said there were none worth mentioning today and maybe some heat-related issues. Smith is no stranger to the grind and is considered day-to-day. There's every reason to believe that when it matters most, Smith will be out there making plays and becoming a reliable target in a Steelers offense hungry for production at tight end. For now, we wait. Hopefully, when Jonnu Smith finally hits the field in black and gold, we'll all remember why Pittsburgh went out and got him in the first place. Once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers entered training camp with questions at wide receiver. However, DK Metcalf gives them a solid number one. He's been in the league since 2019, and as a member of the Seattle Seahawks, he was a great player. Metcalf's time in the NFC West also made him very familiar with Jalen Ramsey, who used to be with the Los Angeles Rams, but is now with Metcalf in Pittsburgh. "Glad I don't gotta play against him on Sunday," Metcalf said Thursday via the team's website. "We're gonna have a lot of battles. Him, Darius Slay, Joey Porter Jr., that whole defense is sick to me. Just to get to go against them and practice every day is gonna be amazing." Ramsey got traded to the Rams during Metcalf's rookie season in 2019 and stayed there until 2023, so the two of them have had a lot of battles. As two of the best at their respective positions, they often clashed on the field. And Metcalf had some of his worst performances against Ramsey. Now, the two of them can work on sharpening their skills together. As longtime rivals, they should know each other's strengths and weaknesses well. That could help both of them improve going into this season. During that same session, Metcalf elaborated on what makes Ramsey special. "He's 6'3", 200 pounds, and he's a big corner that loves to hit," he said. "He's physical, and he's very smart, very cerebral on the field." Then he talks to back it up. "You have all those traits. You're a good player on defense." Ramsey's size and physicality are two of his biggest strengths. They're also likely the reasons why Metcalf had such a tough time against him. Metcalf is a mammoth of a man, and that often helps him win on the field. However, Ramsey isn't afraid to play physical either. He also isn't afraid to talk trash. The Steelers want to be a more physical team, and Metcalf and Ramsey should help them with that. Hopefully, they don't scrap too much in training camp. They were both big acquisitions this offseason, part of the Steelers' plan to get back into championship contention. Perhaps they'll bring out the best in each other and get Pittsburgh closer to that goal. Pittsburgh Steelers QB Aaron Rodgers said earlier this offseason he's going to work to earn a leadership role with the Steelers, and so far, he's been doing just that. After the Steelers' first training camp practice on Thursday, Rodgers talked about building chemistry with his offense and preached the open lines of communication between the coaching staff and the importance of delivering the right message. That's the most important thing. You gotta be saying the right message. Arthur Smith has done a really nice job of giving me the opportunity to speak up in the meetings. I'm always just trying to let the guys know what I'm thinking. It's been great communication between Tom, Arth, Matt Baker, and Arthur, and myself. And Mike Tomlin was in the room this morning talking to us. It's been a lot of fun, it really has. Things are going to get better and look better as we go, but I'm excited where we're at day one, Rodgers said via video posted to Steelers.com. The message might not always be the same, but after 20 seasons in the league, Rodgers probably has a good idea of how to lead a room. He's in a new place with new players now, and Rodgers has to figure out what makes each individual tick and how to get through to them. He already started building chemistry during and after minicamp by hosting his pass catchers in Malibu, and the coaching staff seems to be giving him the leeway to help lead during meetings. The message can't just come from Rodgers, and as he said, the staff has communicated well with him and with the rest of the offense, from Mike Tomlin down to offensive assistant Matt Baker. Rodgers' words carry a lot of weight as a four-time MVP and Super Bowl champion, and the staff being able to work with him and give him the opportunity in meetings to offer advice or talk to his guys about what's on his mind helps them learn from him and their relationship develop. There's been nothing but praise from the rest of the locker room about how Rodgers has been as a person since arriving in Pittsburgh, with Will Howard the latest to talk about Rodgers buying in and helping him as a mentor. Rodgers told the media today that he's willing to help Howard with anything he wants to learn, and that's a relationship that should be beneficial for Howard as he goes through his rookie year. But while there's been a lot of focus on Rodgers as a mentor for Howard, someone with his level of experience can bolster the entire offense and help guys out at every position. If he continues to take an active leadership role and the offensive chemistry stays high, it could be a big season for the Steelers. While I believe that the inherent need for another receiver is overstated for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I do still think a veteran makes sense for this room. I've said since he was released, Gabe Davis is the perfect fit for Pittsburgh right now. The trade for Jonnu Smith and the hope that Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson take that next jump and become competent role players lessen that need at receiver. That said, Davis is still far too intriguing of an option not to roll the dice on. A big vertical threat, Davis is a one-trick pony, but he does his one trick extremely well. No, being able to win on go routes doesn't mean he can slip in as an instant upgrade as receiver number 2, but he can offer more than enough on offense to make him a worthwhile addition. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to sign Gabe Davis before training camp ramps up. While the expectation was for Davis to be a core player for the Jaguars, his lone season there didn't pan out. Because of his contract guarantees, he will essentially be able to play on the minimum this year with Jacksonville fronting the rest of the bill. Just because he's cheap doesn't mean the team needs to sign him. It is just an added bonus. Where the value comes in is his fit in this offense. While Aaron Rodgers will increase the passing attack in Pittsburgh, this still won't be a heavy passing team. That means this team needs to get more out of less from their receivers. Davis does just that, serving as a big play threat who can stretch the field. Given the volume, you don't need a dominant target hog as your second option. Terry McLaurin or even Amari Cooper would likely struggle to find consistent roles on this team. Davis won't need 5 or more targets a game to eat. And while his ceiling is certainly lower than the other names, the Steelers don't need that. They need a guy who can thrive with 25 to 30 catches in a season. Beyond this year, if Davis returns to form, he can also fetch a healthy comp pick next year in free agency. The receiver market is hot, so even as just a role player, he can earn somewhere between $10 to $15 million a season. If Davis is truly washed, his injury last year would say otherwise, the Steelers can just cut him after training camp. There is no risk for Pittsburgh in this deal. Will Davis transform this offense? No, but he can play a core role, add 400 to 500 yards on some big plays, and serve as a great complement for this offense. The Steelers need to pull the trigger on this move as soon as they can.